I guess we'll get started with our acceptance of previous meeting minutes. And I don't know if y'all had an opportunity to review the previous minutes from last month, but if you have not, let me know and I'll give you time.
We just got it.
I thought that was email.
Last week?
Yeah.
I got it now. I'll check with that. I got all this other stuff.
You've had enough for me.
Yeah. There it is. Okay, give us a
Okay. All right, so we'll entertain a motion at this time to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Second. All right, we're moving properly second. Questions, comments about the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? None, ayes have it. The execution of previous minutes. I'm not certain what we mean by execution of the previous minutes. Just signing? Signing? Okay. All right.
You notice that on the previous minutes, we don't have any minutes that's been signed off.
All right, where are those? Because this is October 5. This is October 5. This one, because this one has September, October in the work session. So all I have is.
We can provide you a copy of it, but actually in the booklet we have a section with all the minutes there, but they're not signed off on, but we provided a section.
Here?
Yes.
All right, 10-4. All right. Ma'am, let me go and find that.
Appendix section.
Under tab 6. Those are all the minutes for all of them.
Okay, all right.
And what I would say is these probably came when somebody asked for a copy of whatever was there, but there are signed copies already up until probably the last minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
These were just the copies that were sent out for people to review. So we don't have signed those.
Okay, all right.
New document.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
go back to the minute for a second. What's reflected in here is what we said at the meeting, but we need to make a correction to what we said at the meeting. So did that change the minutes, or do we just need to?
I think it'll be reflected in the new minutes.
Okay, just bring it up to that. We talked at the beginning at the top of the second page about the terms of members, Wayne was bringing up the new members. And I think it's me that made the comment that said, the Lieutenant Governor speaking, the governor's running a term of office. Since then, I've read the law, it doesn't, they're all there for 4-year terms. Concur the term of office. And this said, terms go out when the Lieutenant Governor, the governor changes, and that's just.
Okay, we'll make sure that the minutes reflect.
That is what we said at the last meeting, but it was wrong.
Correct, I understand. All right. Financial funding revenue. Yes, sir.
If Lowe's, Pete brought that up. The other question you asked me last meeting was what the terms were for all of them, and I had to go back and take a look to make sure I had this right. So currently, I won't go back to the original, but currently we have, just going down the line here. We just put two new, or had two folks come up because ours are on 3-year terms.
1, 2, 4, 5.
Yeah, the 3 different terms. Yeah. And the one that was up first was Dr. Myers, and John Ditto is serving in that capacity. There are 2 that have 3-year terms, and that was mine, and I was reappointed, as well as then Jonathan Lee is taking the place of Adam Duffy. And then Beverly Hogan's term will be up next year.
So what is the balance of your term and my term?
3 years. We
We
go
all
out
got 3 more years from now.
3 more years from,
That's the same.
yes,
Gotcha.
we got 2.
now y'all all hit 4-year terms, right? I mean, when the term runs out,
Then we go back
the
to.
new term goes in, yeah.
All right.
We're still, Mayor, you weren't here last time. You have the same issue with the 3 from the city that needs to be set with what they term.
Yeah, I thought we had cleared that up though with this new slate, but we do have an issue because one resigned, so.
Well, yeah, but which terms they filled, because I don't think we got it in the minutes anywhere yet.
I think, so Carrie, you took,
It's my understanding, based upon the minute entry, that Gail Lowry's term had expired.
Right.
And I was reappointed.
in her place. For
Yeah, and I don't know how long that is, but that's what I remember.
I
from the
think it's
resolution.
2 years,
Okay,
but let me check. Don't do that yet. Don't write
Okay.
it down. Let me check.
all right, but I do know
Yeah,
that
just bring
it
it up.
is,
Next
I
meeting.
am
Yeah, I'll bring it
being
up next meeting.
reappointed. Well, I'm being appointed, not reappointed. I do remember the resolution saying that because Gail Lowry's term had
Right.
expired.
Yeah, let me double check, council minutes. All right, so we're ready to talk about money? All right, revenue collected, obligated, and contingency. Who's gonna talk us through that? Michelle, somebody? Public Works, all right. Can you state your name for the record, ma'am?
Erica Thompson,
And what do you do?
Public Works,
All right.
Chris Falls. So, as of, I will be reporting as of September the 30th, 2016, closing out fiscal year FY16. Collected, $34,132,061.55. As of now, what's the remaining balance of 3.9? Do you know how much we collected for fiscal year?
How much have we obligated? Because you gave us a total collected, we got a balance of 3.9 left. I'd be interested in knowing how much of that is obligated, and then of that, how much is actually in the street, if you will. Does that make sense? How much is actually creating work being spent?
Okay. That's 2016, it was 26 million obligated with different projects that on the spreadsheet.
Where we have obligated amount, and that's based on the spreadsheet we received from the city.
Yes.
The obligated amount is $30,161,683.
Wait, say it again?
$30,161,683.
So that's obligated through what?
We actually just forward. Right. This is the data up into October.
All right, got it. And
The amount.
while this stuff is in the book, there's a camera running, and then there's a fella here from the North Side Sun, so that's why I want you to say it out loud.
Okay.
So that way nobody can say what they want to say. They got to say what we said. All right.
I've got a question to ask them that. Last month at the meeting, when we didn't get any material till that meeting was over, which I assume was going to be an update, it had a similar sheet like this about the revenues, and it showed the amount obligated at that time was $30,475,000, which is more than this in here. But that also happened to be the same amount that was in this September report. So if it was updated, evidently we didn't collect or obligate anything in the month of September, because this number in this report matches the same page in the report from a month earlier. And so, number one, I don't.
Obligated? Yeah, obligated.
Yeah, and the material that didn't make it here to the last meeting,
I understand. I was just making sure I
Yeah.
understand the same thing you were saying.
it looks just like this sheet in this tab, but it matches the numbers that were in the sheet from 1 month earlier. So it evidently wasn't updated.
So,
But if we haven't,
yeah.
But you didn't collect any during the month of September?
No, the collection is different.
All right, no. The September sheet and the October sheet shows the exact same amount collected, obligated, and revenues and contingency. Those numbers did not change from September to October.
But this is as of September the 30th.
Excuse me, I'm not even getting to that number.
No, but I'm trying to answer your question, if you would allow.
Okay.
Okay. We collect a revenue every month.
Mhm.
Okay. The report that you have is as of September the 30th, 2016.
Right,
So you requested a more detailed spreadsheet.
right.
We have provided you a detailed spreadsheet as relates to the collection, revenues, and
And
obligations.
that's not the question I'm asking right now. You're exactly right on everything you just said. The question I'm asking right now is at our September meeting, we were given a book like this. At our October meeting, we were given a book like this after the meeting was over. I know that during the month of September, money was collected and money was obligated, money was spent. But the sheet on the updated information, that the material that was given to us in October has exactly the same numbers as September. All I'm saying is nobody bothered to, the expensive book we got late, nobody bothered to make sure it was right.
It could be, but
I mean, I know what you're saying about that. That's a
right,
different
but
deal.
what you got in front of you is correct.
Okay, that's a second question. My first one was a comment to that. We paid a lot of money to get a booklet done that wasn't updated because there's a bunch of other stuff in that booklet that I want to talk about that still wasn't
And that's
updated.
fine. But once again, we provided you with the information that you requested, and we're moving forward.
Well,
So why are we going back?
Well,
You have a spreadsheet. You have a correct spreadsheet in front of you.
You're on a different subject, but I'll answer that one too. My question right now is, did we de-obligate $300,000 worth of money in the last month? Because at the end of,
No.
all right, excuse me, at the end of September, at this book, at the end of September, we'd obligated $30,475,000. You're telling me now we've obligated $30,161,000. So there's a $300,000 difference in between there. That's my second question. I tried to take the information you sent me, which you did, and I appreciate it. I had trouble understanding it, so I called Garrett, and I'm waiting for a call back so I could get some explanation to figure out how to use it. But that's a whole different question. Right now, I do want to know is, where did that $300,000 that used to be obligated to go to?
So before you do that, again, I think the email that I sent back to you said that we would discuss that, and also Charles and I were available to work through that sheet. I want to clear that up.
And I called you.
I did not get that call.
But I know you were in the meeting, I left a message with the secretary, that was Friday morning, and I did call you. I appreciate that.
Okay.
And,
Just want to clear that up.
yeah, I know.
I think Michelle can answer your question about the difference in the obligation.
You did send me back an email and said call you, and I said fine, I called.
Come on, Michelle.
I would just like to offer Mr. Perry, in the last month or so, the Department of Administration and Finance has been working with Public Works to provide accurate information. So I would just offer, if the reports from the prior two meetings may have been incorrect, we have now corrected that with what you have in front of you. So these numbers are directly from our financial system, and they are up to date through September 30th.
So we can accept this number as September 30th.
All revenue and expenses.
Wait, no, this is not October 30th, okay, this is
No, because
September.
we kind of
I
start working.
understand that. This is September 30th.
Yes, sir.
Could I make a suggestion? When we have like a description that says year to date, that we just put the date on here.
Yes.
That way everybody will be on the same page
As
with what year to date
of
means.
September 30th.
Okay. We're ready. Good. So we got collected, obligated, and contingency. I think I was asking about what's in contingency, and I know it's a sheet here, but just out loud, what do we have that's out there that's in contingency?
As of September 30th, $3,968,621.14.
All right.
What is in
The funds that's not obligated.
funds is not October.
All right. Number 3, fiscal year project status for 2015.
Try to walk through this
So this is the
spreadsheet if
first
we
time
can.
they've been provided with a checkbook that they requested.
So you want to walk through that?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
So at the
So is
top,
everybody at tab 2 first of all?
at the top it says revenue account, those are the funds that come in from the state. And now at the second revenue account, we take the money once the commission and council approve the project. They come from our trust account and go into our expense accounts, which is Fund 173. That's the operating account. And then down where you see expense account, those are the projects that's been approved by the commission and the council. And we have it identified as fiscal year by fiscal year. The first one is fiscal year 2015, and I think on page 3 starts FY 2016 project. And you see where we have a breakdown of the original budget, where we had to change our funds because we didn't have money for one project to another to keep the projects moving. And we have comments outside.
Okay.
So any projects that are approved in 17 will go into that 17 column. So that, as you stated, Mr. Perry, you wanted to see that broken out. So we got it broken out for you. Trying to help.
It helps.
Trying to help.
It helps.
Thank you, that helps move the meeting too.
So is this everything that you all wanted to see in the checkbook? I know you said you wanted to see kind of transactions going in and out. Erica, the last sheet, was that your example of, you know, when they wanted the vendor number, check numbers, amount of the checks, etc.?
That's for the title grant. Okay. They want to make sure that.
The fourth page that you see in that tab is for the title.
The pages after that, which was what y'all sent first, that goes through by project with all the expenditures on there. And that is what was asked before. That is what I did have a couple of questions after meeting. I'll get y'all to figure out how to interpret a couple of things on that.
But that relates to all the expenditures per project. Every time there's an invoice and there's a check cut, it is shown in that GL report.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for being intentional on that. Anything else? All right, let's move to project status update.
While we're on finances, have we got a copy of all this? Yeah.
It's, yes, we do.
So the 1% reporting is a part of the city's overall end of the year financial reporting. There's a single page that addresses non-major governmental funds. So it's not an independent audit that's done just for 1%. It's a part of our annual.
I think the independent meant by an independent.
Yeah, it's done by
I think it is.
But it's not
yeah, it's not independent of me.
Right.
Of the other stuff, it's just.
Yes.
I got the cap.
So these pages are just excerpts from our annual capper. And if you turn through to the page that is numbered 118, the very last page, the second entry from the bottom is labeled 1% infrastructure stats. And it'll just give an annual snapshot of the beginning and ending balances and any activity that occurred in the fund during that fiscal year. But if you want to get a copy, and I guess I have a question about how we should be submitting it to the state auditor, because you said that it goes as a part of our annual audit, but do they want to see something separate and apart from our annual audit?
What I was asking about, the legislation says we give one to the Secretary of the Senate and the Clerk of the House, not the auditor, but the legislature.
Okay, so.
And I don't know what, I'd suggest calling them and asking them what they expect.
This is on the city's website, so I'll call them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether you send the whole thing or this page or whatever.
Tell me the office again.
Secretary of the Senate and the Clerk of the House of Representatives. The Mississippi Legislature.
All right. Fiscal year 2015 project status update. Let's go.
Okay, my name is Tommy Avant with IMS Engineers, and we brought some of the project managers with us so that we can update the commission on the various projects. And we're going to be talking about the fiscal year item number 3 through item number 5. So basically, just wanted to start off by talking about the manual that you currently have. We listened at the previous board meeting minutes, reading those minutes. One of the things that was requested was that I guess some of the new commissioners wanted copies of the minutes from all the other meetings. And so what we did was, if you look at the tab here, we made sure that we put some of those things in there. So and one of the tabs in the appendix is a copy of all of your minutes for all the meetings that was occurred for this commission. And so basically, we're going to go through the tab number 1, which is a summary of everything that's there. But for more detailed information, you can look at the other tabs. But tab number 1 was set up if we was doing a PowerPoint presentation. But unfortunately, I don't think the machine was working right, so we made sure we put that in this tab. So we're going to talk about, first thing we're going to talk about, Keyboard Ward is going to give us an update, give you an update on the fiscal year projects, 2015.
Okay, and as Mr. Evans said,
if y'all don't mind, please talk up.
Okay. Further information on these drainage projects are in tab number 3. So we'll start here with Eubanks Creek. That's a Stantec project, the design consultant. Notice of proceed was given in September. They're currently in design phase. They're actually conducting a survey, topographic survey, and doing their hydraulic modeling right now. I think the survey is already completed. The second project is Eubanks Creek. This is the tributary number 6. It's from Forest Avenue to Northside Drive.
Wait.
Okay, that's in your.
You skip.
It's tab
You
1.
skip.
Oh yeah, if you want to go to tab 1.
Oh, are you operating on tab 1 or
Yes,
tab
sir.
right?
Yes, sir. PowerPoint. Yep. So I said that. So we're on tab 1 page.
Okay, got you. Go ahead.
Okay. So on Eubanks Creek, tributary 6, that's Forest Avenue to Northside Drive. They're currently in 30% design phase. Preliminary survey was conducted. They're currently conducting hydraulic modeling, doing their geotechnical investigation on that one. So they're still in the early stages of design there. Next page over, page 4. Town Creek, tributary number 4, Woodrow Wilson to Erie. That one is currently in contract negotiation. The contract is currently in review. That should get out anytime now. The Bellhaven Creek project, which is from Belmont Street to Piedmont, and State Street from Woodrow Wilson to Riverside Drive. That's actually kind of 2 projects rolled into one. They're currently in study phase. They have to determine what direction they're going to take, because there's lots of flooding in the area. Culverts are overtopping, in a significant rain event. So they're currently just in the study phase to see what direction they're going to go. Either they're going to widen the channel or probably create some detention on upstream to alleviate the problem. Brook Hollow Circle, that project was already approved, and they actually completed design on that phase. They're pretty much 100% completed. But they're just waiting on 3 parcels for acquiring 3 parcels. So we're expecting that.
What's the holdup on those 3?
Actually, today, I think we're down to 1.
Okay.
I got, under Tuesday, I got some information back from the state, so we got the state parcels. I just got to go to the county, Hines County, to get those recorded. But the gentleman who's working with the easements, he alerted me today that we got 1 more.
Okay.
Who is that?
Al Clark.
Not just on the easement, but just a general question. This one was one of the, I think, the one project we had from May of 2015 list to do the construction on, not just the design, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Right.
And we're now, a year and a half later, we still ain't got to the stage. Is that a normal time frame to have to get from I haven't taken action and all the rest of the stuff to be able to be out there digging or clearing or
Well,
whatever you do?
we actually moved on the design, I believe either October, November 15th. And so during that time, the design has pretty much been completed, probably early spring of 16. But the easement acquisition is always the toughest part on the drainage projects. They take a lot of time.
And that's kind of what I'm asking. Is that year and a half, and we're getting close to being under construction, a normal time frame for drainage projects like this?
Yes, if there are a number of parcels that need to get temporary easements, yes.
And it's temporary easements, just so that you can
That's right. So,
cross and get in there to do the work.
that's right.
So, it stated here that we're expecting the bidding process to start, the bidding phase to start in December 2016, so it looks like we're on track. Okay, yeah, do that, okay.
So we'll advertise when we're anticipating December.
I would say probably January, to be more realistic. 17.
All right. And from advertisement to groundbreaking, what you think? Oh, you can't, because easements, my bad.
Well, if I get all the easements, I have to go to council to accept the temporary easements. And then once from that, then we can go ahead and advertise. So I would say January, probably realistic before you break ground, March.
Okay, that's what I would say. All right, thank you.
Continuing on with Lynch Creek drainage. This is one of the projects we discussed a few.
Yes, this was not, and we talked about this, this was not communicated properly, but should have when we discussed those drainage projects that got approved.
I want to discuss this some more right now.
Okay, go ahead.
Because we're looking here at a project that, from what we talked about at the end of the last meeting, had FEMA grant money go back to 2013, whatever. And then when you took bids, it overran. And so we've moved money from other projects that this council approved, that this commission approved. We've moved money from phase 2 of Riverside Drive and from some other forest field or something, all in that budget without it ever been coming before this commission. All that money was moved to put $700,000 over here to cover this shortfall for a project that was under construction or had a FEMA grant. I said at the last meeting that we had $132,000 in there for design. So no, that was under construction. Here's the document from the May 2015 meeting that was given to us with the list of projects to adopt. We were given this list and said, here they are, and take it or leave it or eat it. This document says design was $132,000, construction was $1,100,000, so we were told then it was design, we weren't told it was construction. It says it didn't have the check mark over there about other funds, money available. Obviously there were a couple $1 million worth of FEMA grant money at that time. Now we've asked him to take our $132,000 project and make it a $700,000 project, and it's been done without any discussion of this commission. The information we were given in May of 2015 was wrong. It was either bait and switch and inverted ink. I don't know what it was, but what we were given then said it was designed. The first time it's come up in this commission was September 15th of the October meeting, when we asked for an additional $500-something thousand that's already been moved from other projects that we had approved. It's been taken out of there, moved over there, and committed to that project. I want to know how that happened. What are we here for? I mean, we approved money for Riverside Drive Phase 2, and it moves over there to pay for a project that we thought we had $130,000 committed for design work. We find that was actually committed for construction money, and that when there's a shortage, a year ago, during all those meetings since then, nothing has been brought in here to talk about it. I don't know I don't know which one I'm talking to. I don't know who that responsibility is.
So the first part of that, in terms of responsibility, at that time you all had a different public works director.
I was working with
the and that's true. You maybe work with the city, and as I think we mentioned earlier, this is a clean slate, and this is what we're bringing forth in this meeting. So that's why this is addressed here for the first time, as you mentioned. So we're not ducking from it.
I know you're not ducking from it.
We want to correct it, and we want to make sure that we're well established on the process going forward. So that's why it's in here. That's why the request is in here.
It's already been done.
Well, you're right. So here's the thing. It has already been done.
Just like the $4.5 million for streets was already done.
But you're right. But as it states in the minutes, that the the commission approved 15.5. I think roughly about that. Okay. Now, the listing of the streets, that didn't come before